Good morning. First session on the menu for today. Got some full body strength. Just doing a little 5-minute warm up on the bike, get a bit of blood flow, get the temperature up, and then we'll get into some movement prep. So at the minute, my hip is a little bit niggly. It's like my inner upper left hip. It's kind of almost like where the adductor attaches. That's just been a little bit niggly for the last couple of weeks. Spending a little bit more time mobilizing around the hip just to make sure there's no kind of lingering tightness. That's potentially just gonna open me up to irritating it further and being a little bit considerate with anything that's gonna, stress the area. Didn't run last week. Had a tempo run earlier this week. And then I've got a second run on Sunday. It's generally feeling okay. I'm not doing any heavy adductor loading. I'm just being mindful of anything that's really kind of stretching the hip under load as well. So like split squats, lunges, things like that. Hopefully next week I'll be able to push the running a little bit more. I've had enough injuries to know that there's no value or nothing to be gained in just ignoring it and trying to push through. Very much a case of do what you need to do now to be able to do what you want to do later. So this one isn't necessarily hip as much as it is lower back. Yeah, still getting some movement around the hip, the lumbar region, which is all going to be connected. It's like if your lower back, kind of upper rear hip is a little bit tight and aggy, then things above and below that area are either going to become overworked or potentially a little bit aggy as well, which is typically a good frame to look at things through. Of don't just look at the area in question. So if it's hip flexor or if it's hamstring or whatever it is, you always want to look above and below, because often we'll treat the symptom rather than the cause. It's like if your knee hurts, you go, oh, okay, well, what is it about the knee? Actually, it could be quad, it could be hip, it could be calf, it could be ankle. Looking above and below, giving it a little bit of TLC is always going to help. All right, let's get into the proper warm-up. Had a little bit of a rushed post-gym where I had to come back, shower, make some food, eat, and then had my Indonesian lesson at 1, and then came back, did a little bit of work, and now I am sitting down to eat my pre-training meal. So I'm just gonna plop this here and just show you what this looks like. Spin you around. 300 grams of steamed rice. We've got 180 grams of chicken teriyaki, 50 grams of seaweed. A couple of weeks ago, I had a consult with the wonderful Nina, who is a performance nutritionist from Australia, and just wanted to basically just have a little bit of a conversation with her about what I was currently doing, to see if there was anything I was missing or any opportunities to add anything, make some changes to ultimately just help me perform better, recover better, and facilitate more progress over the coming months and years. And there wasn't really anything major, but one of the main takeaways was just making sure that I'm getting in enough carbohydrates. And for me, I was probably a little bit under on my rest days or on my lower days. My higher days were not far away from where they needed to be, but the recovery days or the off days were more so where we felt we had room to increase a little bit. So my base level of carbohydrates now is 5 grams per kilo of body weight, and then on my single session training days it's 6 grams per kilo, and then on my double session training days it's 7 grams per kilo. I wasn't far away from that as it is, but just that little bit of an increase on my rest days, and then just really making sure that I'm definitely getting that 6 and 7 grams on my training days is just ultimately going to make sure that I'm getting in enough across the week to support my current training load. Now that will probably increase as my training load increases, but my training volume it's not going to change drastically over the next few months. It will kind of steadily increase, a few minutes a week. So there will be a point, probably at some point in the next 6 months, where I will need to increase, probably more so on the higher days, and then maybe there might be a point where my rest days need to go up a little bit as well. But because I'm still not expending crazy amounts of energy, I do have room to increase my fat and my protein as well. So my fat's currently sitting around 1 gram per kilo of body weight, and my protein is currently sitting at 2 grams per kilo of body weight. So there is room to increase both of those a little bit if we felt like calories needed to go up, but we didn't feel like there was a demand for more carbohydrates. We're back in the gym. Workout number 2, got a threshold bike session. Just doing my 8-minute steady warm up now, and then going into 4 by 8 minutes at, looking at my phone, it's in the bike holder. 4 by 8 minutes at 190 watts with 2 minutes rest at 120 watts. It's kind of like sub-threshold, it's below my FTP, and then 2 minutes at low zone 2 watts recovery, and then we'll cool down to 60 minutes and that'll be done. Got another 6 minutes of my easy warm-up, hit a couple of faster efforts every 2 minutes or so at about FTP pace, get into the main section. Looking forward to this one. I've been enjoying my bike thresholds at the minute. Tell you what, that workout was absolutely rubbish. My legs had nothing to give, and I was way off on the watts. I tried to keep it within 10%, and I managed to do that for the first 3 sets, and then the last set was definitely just acceptance of it was not going to be a good workout, and I just needed to keep it steady, get the volume in, and just move on to the next one. And realistically, when I reflect on what my training has looked like over the last few days, it's like I did lower body strength, and then the next day I did a threshold run and an erg threshold. Then the next day I had that Les Mills hybrid thing, which you might have seen on my Instagram, and then a 70-minute bike. And then this morning I had full body strength, and then tonight I've gone back and done the threshold bike. So when you actually think about it logically and look at the timeline, my nutrition has been where it's needed to be. Hydration's been good. Sleep's been, pretty good. In terms of where I've placed that session, it makes sense that my legs were feeling a little bit fatigued when we got there. So chalk it up to that and we move on to the next. But now I need to get ready because I'm going out to meet Mr. Jason Berry for dinner at one of my favorite restaurants in Bali, Smoke.
Very romantic.
Yeah, very romantic. That's what it's making. You stand on the other side of the fire.
Mars before hose.